Great. Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin, for that wonderful talk before, and all the dream teachers for presenting. To borrow from what Mr. Shiv Khemka said in his opening remarks yesterday, being a teacher and educator is one of the most altruistic professions out there, because you're touching the lives of so many people every single day. And we thank you, and TGEL salutes you by having this dinner in your honor today. I am here because I'm an innovator in education. I'm also a young entrepreneur. That's been a theme all day today. We've been talking about young entrepreneurs. And there were some interesting ideas brought up by our dream teachers throughout the day about innovation in education, and I've done something in that field. Just a little bit of background. I am originally from Modern School, Barakamba Road. I don't know if anyone's here from there. Stand alone, okay. I went to University of Notre Dame to study business in the US, joined male-dominated world of investment banking for about 4 years in New York, and then went to Harvard Business School to change my trajectory into technology and entrepreneurship. But most importantly, what you should know about me is that I'm a daughter of an educator named Suniti Mathur, who is a high school math teacher who then became a private tutor in SAT, ACT, maths, and sciences as she followed my father's career around the world. And the story I'm going to tell you is something that happens to me frequently, and for all you educators, it probably happens to your children as well. I was fresh out of Harvard Business School, working at a tech company in New York on a flight, and a student taps my shoulder and says, "Are you Suniti Mathur's daughter?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "I must tell you that I wasn't that great a student in school, and I never ended up being a great student, but your mother really helped me, tutored me in some subjects and the SAT, and I went to my dream school, which is New York University." And such a story has really impacted me because she made a difference in someone else's life, helping that person reach their potential. So that led me to believe, is there any way we can have great teachers, such as the ones we met today, reach students all across the world, no matter where they might be? And there's a lot on this slide, but basically there's a famous professor at Harvard Business School named Clayton Christensen who talks about disruptive innovation and how technology could be used for the good. And they asked him, how do you think internet's going to change the way education is taught? And he said there's tremendous opportunity for students to learn in a customized manner, in an affordable manner, and in a manner that matches their potential and their pace. So as we talked about earlier, as with Mr. McLaughlin, it's not just about being a topper or being rote, it's about each student maximizing their potential, and I believe that with technology, that can be achieved. So what's Test Rocker? Maximizing the potential of every student by connecting great quality teachers to students all around the world. We leverage the power of the internet to house all this information in one place that a student can access anywhere, any place. And then we provide this to them in a customized manner and further use data to see where they're learning, where they're tapering off, and what's motivating them. How did I execute this? And I only bring this up because, as you talked earlier with the dream teachers, you have an idea, but how do you actually implement it? So I started small, started with an SAT test prep company based on my mother, the educator that I talked about. And then I did a test and then invest model. So we did a huge research study with 600 students about how they learn and prepare for the SAT. Further, we took a small version of the product that we have today and tested it with students. And what we found is by learning through our modules and going through our modules once, they improved their score by 38% and decreased the time they took to take the test by 25%. So when I say test and invest, I don't mean only money, but your career. This led me to quit my job in technology and form the company that I'm talking about today. Then we partnered with institutions. So one of the ones that we partnered with is Singapore American School, which is a large school in Singapore, only to get their counselors to have input into our product right from the beginning, have teachers to have input, so we're creating the right product and making sure we're fulfilling a need. So what does this look like? We actually don't have Wi-Fi here, but I've taken product shots just to give you a quick idea so it's not amorphous. First, to mimic the customized student private tutor experience, we make the students take a diagnostic test. It's a 70-minute test. When they take the test, they're led to a customized study plan. And what you'd see here is it's broken into modules, broken into topics. And for those who are not familiar with the SAT, it's a very interesting test. It's not just rote. A lot of it is actually understanding because the questions can twist what you know on its head and test you in a different manner, even though it might be a topic you've actually most probably covered in school. So we break it into modules, and in the modules you'll see we rate them. So in this test it looks like, functions is a high priority. It's something you don't remember since high school, but lines is something that seems to remember from high school. So I'll start by focusing on functions. This also saves the student a lot of time. There's a lot on their mind. There's a high school, there's their grades, there's their extracurricular activity, social service, being part of great programs like TGELF, so we want to save time for them. Further technology allows them to see which sections they're doing well in, which ones they need to work on, bookmark questions to come back to later. There's a vast amount of material to learn, so this helps you remember it. And then just quickly what the learning area looks like. It's learn by doing. So you do a question, and then you're told whether you got it right or wrong, and it unlocks the videos on the right. The videos today we have are for SAT. It has my mother. But I see in the future having videos from many teachers that we saw here today and connecting them with students no matter where they might be in the world. We launched our product in December, and this is our current student map. These are our paying customers. They're in 9 countries across the world. And I know yesterday when Mr. Khemka addressed the scholars, he said, think global. And it's hard to do that, but it was important for me to execute on a global basis right from the beginning to know that the product doesn't work for just one type of student, but works for students all over the world. So today we have students from Cambodia to California learning on our program from my dear mother and improving their scores by up to 400 points by using technology. Today we reach hundreds of students, more students than an educator like Suniti Mathur could reach on her own, and that's the power of technology. But I hope when you think global, you don't think just geographies. So I pushed myself to find students in different types of walks of life. So we have private school students, public school students, homeschool students, students with learning disabilities, gifted students, student athletes, English as a second language, to make sure that they're getting consistent results. The first person there, Floor, who has a 370-point increase. English is her second language. It really is. She just recently got introduced to it. As you know, the SAT is completely in English. Nicola, she's a boarding school student. So she loves the fact that she can access this anywhere, and she's commuting between home and her boarding school, but she can just log in wherever she is when she gets some time to practice, and practice for the SAT. Evan at the bottom with a 400-point increase, he's a homeschool student. So similar results. It's important that it's instituted across geographies, but also across different kinds of students. That's been my story so far. We're quickly developing into other products, so we're going into different content verticals, geographies I already showed you, and then ultimately going from student education all the way through adult education, teacher education, corporate education, even thinking about how some things, such as the things that TGELF is teaching us, how can we apply that on a larger scale? How can we reach more people around the world, perhaps through the use of technology? So I had this for the young students who were in the room because I got a lot of questions when I was talking to them, and I'll share them for them later. But even for the educators in the room, as you think about innovation, these are sort of the 5 things that I've learned in this short period of time. One, there's tremendous improvement, room for improvement, and room for innovation in education. I don't want to be bogged down by, oh, the problems are so great. You can see with what my small example, reaching students now from Cambodia to California, it is possible. So tie up and think about student engagement, student learning, student retention, teacher continuation, and teacher learning. There's a lot out there. Partner with a quality educator, school, educational institution. I think those of us who work in technology have this misunderstanding that technology alone can solve all problems, and that's not what I'm here to say. I think the educators are going to solve the problem, but technology can amplify their reach, and they can do more things than they could have just by themselves. So that's the idea. And then think global, think across geographies, think across demographics. Is what I'm doing applicable to students beyond just my city, my town? And test and invest. So I gave you an example of how we did a beta test, how we involved schools from the beginning so that we were building the right product. And that saves you a lot of time and a lot of money later on. And lastly, since it's education and we're not talking fashion or shoes or anything silly like that, it's education, students come first. And that's why you have to involve educators, and as a business and technology person, you want to make sure that someone's there to really vet your results and help you out. And then the money will follow you along the way so that you can reinvest in new products, new qualities, recruiting new products, and recruiting new teachers. So short and sweet, I know I'm between you and dinner, but I want to give my contact information. I'm Sonali at testrocker.com. And for those of you on social media, I'm on at @TR_Sonali. Thanks for your time, and thanks for having me here.
Thank you for those inspiring words. Please accept a token of our gratitude.